A blizzard is not a weather phenomenon to be admired. It is a predatory monster. And when you are driving, you are the most vulnerable prey. Today we are not going to talk about building igloos or hunting in the deep forest. We are going to talk about a much more terrifying scenario, where thousands of deaths occur every year on highways across the world. Death calls your name right behind the steering wheel. Let us start with the first scenario, the moment chaos begins. The multi-car pileup. You are traveling at the speed limit, but the sky suddenly collapses. The whiteout phenomenon occurs. Your visibility drops from 100 meters to 0 in a single heartbeat. Every boundary between the road, the sky, and the ground disappears. It is like driving in a jar of thick, condensed milk. And just as you are straining your eyes to find the taillights of the car ahead, beneath your tires, an invisible killer lies waiting. Black ice. Unlike the white snow you can see, black ice is a thin, transparent layer of ice coating the asphalt, making it look merely wet. But in reality, the coefficient of friction there is nearly 0. When your tires hit black ice, all anti-lock braking system (ABS) or electronic stability control technologies become meaningless. Basic physics will take control. Your vehicle is no longer a means of transportation. It becomes a massive metal sliding freely according to inertia. And then, you see the bright red brake lights flash ahead. You hit the brakes instinctively. That is the first fatal mistake. The wheels lock up. The car slides and slams straight into the rear of the car in front. But the nightmare does not stop there. In that whiteout, the cars behind you, giant containers, heavy trucks, are also rushing in at high speed, completely unaware that you have stopped. The sound of metal crushing metal, the sound of glass shattering, and screams blending together create a symphony of destruction. This is a pileup. In this situation, if your car remains intact after the first collision, the life or death question is, should you stay in the car or run outside? My answer is, stay in the car and fasten your seatbelt, unless you see fire or smell a strong scent of gasoline. Why? Because out there is a war zone. If you step out of the car in 0 visibility conditions, your soft body will stand no chance against another out-of-control vehicle rushing toward you. Duck low, protect your head and neck, and wait until the sound of collision stops completely. The car, even if crumpled, is still the best armor you have at this moment. But suppose you are lucky. You are not in an accident, or it is a minor one and you are still alive. However, your car is stuck. The wheels spin in deep snow. The undercarriage is lifted by snow, causing the tires to lose traction. You are isolated in the middle of nowhere. The cold begins to creep in. And this is when the second silent killer appears. A killer who needs no knife, no blood, and is so gentle that you will die with a smile on your lips. Carbon monoxide, CO. When a car is stuck, what is our first reflex? To keep the engine running, to operate the heater, we want warmth. But in a blizzard, snow falls very fast and thick. Wind can blow snow into high drifts that cover the rear of your car, plugging the exhaust pipe. When the exhaust pipe is blocked, exhaust fumes from the engine, filled with extremely toxic CO gas, cannot escape into the environment. It will find a way back, leaking through gaps under the car and flooding the cabin where you were sitting. CO is terrifying because it is colorless, odorless, and tasteless. Human senses are completely blind to it. When you inhale CO, it binds to the hemoglobin in your red blood cells 200 times more tightly than oxygen. It robs the blood of its ability to transport oxygen, gradually suffocating the brain and internal organs. You will not feel short of breath like being strangled. On the contrary, you feel a slight headache, then nausea, and then drowsiness hits. You think you just need to close your eyes for a moment to regain strength. And that is the final sleep. So what is the solution? If you must start the engine for warmth, the golden rule is, check the exhaust pipe. You must step outside, when traffic safety is ensured. Use your hands or a shovel to clear the snow around the exhaust pipe. And more importantly, only run the engine for 10 minutes every hour. Do not run the engine continuously. During those 10 minutes, crack the car window about 2 to 3 centimeters on the side away from the wind. This creates air circulation, pushing toxic gases out and bringing fresh oxygen in. Never trade temporary warmth for your life. Now let us come to the third scenario, a longer mental and physical torture. Traffic jam and freezing to death. Imagine you are on an interstate highway. A blizzard has brought traffic to a complete standstill. Thousands of cars stand silently in line. 1 hour passes. 10 hours pass. Then a day passes. Rescue has not arrived. Fuel is running low. The engine dies. At this point, your beloved car changes its nature. It is no longer a warm shelter. Glass and metal are excellent heat conductors, meaning they transfer the cold from outside in just as fast as they transfer heat from inside out. The car becomes a giant freezer. The biggest threat now is hypothermia. When your core body temperature drops below 35 degrees Celsius, the body begins to power down non-essential functions to protect the heart and brain. You start shivering violently. That is how the body generates heat. But when energy is exhausted, you stop shivering. Your thinking becomes muddled. You stammer, and your movements become clumsy. To survive, you must turn the car into a survival cocoon. First rule, shrink the space. Do not sit scattered. If there are several people, huddle together in the back seat and embrace each other. Body heat is the best heater. Use everything you have. Spare clothes, blankets, car floor mats, even newspapers or maps to stuff inside your jacket. The layer of air between layers of material is the best insulator. Second rule, never sleep when your body is too cold. While sleeping, metabolism slows down and body temperature drops faster. You need to move. But not vigorous exercise that leads to sweating, because sweat when meeting the cold will freeze and kill you faster. Perform isometric exercises. Squeeze your arm, leg, and abdominal muscles hard, then relax. Move your fingers and toes constantly to keep blood circulating. Third rule, manage thirst. You are surrounded by frozen water, but you can die of thirst. Cold air is very dry. It sucks moisture from your body with every breath. But absolutely, I repeat, absolutely do not eat snow directly. When you eat cold snow, the body must expend a huge amount of thermal energy to melt it into water inside your stomach. This seriously lowers your core body temperature. You must melt the snow first. Put snow into a plastic bottle and tuck it inside your layers of clothing, or place it on the dashboard if there is a bit of sunlight. Drink warm water or room temperature water. That is the only way. And finally, the psychological battle. The loneliness amidst the whiteout can cause panic. You will want to open the door and walk to find help. But unless you see the lights of a house, certainly a few hundred meters away, otherwise, do not leave the car. The car is the largest recognizable sign for rescue teams to find you, from the air or from a distance. A small human being in a blizzard will disappear after only a few minutes of moving. Your footprints will be covered by snow immediately, and you will lose direction, become exhausted, and collapse forever in a white grave. If you are stuck at night, turn on the interior dome light instead of the headlights. Headlights consume a lot of battery and can be covered by snow, but the faint light from inside the car creates a lantern effect, making it easier for rescuers to see you in the dark night. Hang a bright piece of cloth, preferably red or orange, on the car antenna, or clip it into the window. That is your flag for help. Nature is not cruel, it is just indifferent. It does not care who you are, what you drive, or how much money you have. When a blizzard hits, only thorough preparation and a cool head will help you keep a warm heart. Do not wait until you see the first snowflake to start worrying. Prepare an emergency kit in your trunk today. Thermal blankets, candles, a lighter, high-energy chocolate, and a small shovel. Those small things are the thin line between life and death. The next time you start your car on a winter day, remember what I have shared. A driver's confidence lies not in speed, but in the ability to control the worst situation. Drive safely and always respect the power of nature.